Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing this glass shrimp egg tumbler. Now, there is no real official name for this. There's a Chinese manufacturer that makes it, and a bunch of distributors sell it under a variety of different names. But it's a shrimp egg tumbler, that's what they all have in common in the name. Some will say crystal red, some will say cherry shrimp, etc. Point is, it's designed specifically for shrimps, dwarf shrimps, like these little guys. So as you can see, I got a bunch of little dwarf shrimps and whatnot, and once in a while mama shrimp has a problem, doesn't make it. Maybe she sheds her exoskeleton, molts, and the eggs are left on the exoskeleton. You want to help the babies, live. So you get something like this. Now, what I should say before we get into anything is what everything comes with the tumbler. You get the glass tube, which is actually very nicely made. You get the two suction cups to hold it in place, and you get these two grates, which it's kind of like a colander almost. It's a metal mesh that is encased in a rubber gasket sort of situation. You just push them in and line them up as best as you can. It comes with two per tube, and one on the top. You want to put that in first in case you add too much flow and they accidentally shoot up to the top. Of course, you got the bottom so they don't fall down out of the system. Now, the shrimp egg tumbler is a simple mechanism that simulates what mama shrimp does naturally when she fans her eggs. It is a bit tricky to get just right, though. This is about how much bounce you want, which means you have to have very, very little airflow. Because what happens is you push air in, and that air creates a vacuum in the water. That vacuum gets taken up by water, and that's what produces this upward flow of water. If you add too much flow, and it is not hard to add too much flow, they will rocket up the tube, and it's a good thing they give you the one for the top right here so it doesn't go jettisoning out of the tube and then flying everywhere. Now, I have had a few eggs escape, but that was probably my fault because I added too much airflow, and thus creates too much water flow, and it was just unrealistic for what needed to be appropriate. Now, as you can see, these eggs are super tiny, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my macro lens on here really quick. I'm just going to make that sure it fits properly, and hopefully we can get a better view of what's going on here. So with shrimp eggs, you're going to want to separate the eggs from the deceased shrimp or the molt. And on top of that, you're going to want to separate the eggs from each other as much as possible, because shrimp eggs have like a biological kind of glue that keeps them together and keeps them on the mama shrimp. And you want to separate them as much as possible so that you can actually get some bounce. And you don't want more than just a light bounce. You don't need to jostle them everywhere. But as you can see, there's one egg that's all the way in the corner. There's one kind of fatal design flaw about this, is if the egg somehow gets out of the grate area and onto the rubber area, it's pretty much going to be a goner because it's not tumbling. You can take it out and try several times until you get it just right, but it is difficult to do so. It took me a few times, but once I got it, it seemed okay. The premise is pretty simple. It's a neat little device, and it might work. There's no guarantees that it will. Your best chance of egg survival is to make sure the mama doesn't pass away in the first place, but that's what this is for, in case such a situation should happen. So overall, each shrimp egg tumbler is approximately $10. So you're going to need some airline tubing, and you're going to need an air pump. One other thing it comes with is this airflow adjustment valve. And this is going to be very important because you're going to need to adjust this to be just right. Like I said, very little airflow. So get the smallest, weakest air pump you got, and that's probably more than sufficient. And that's why this valve is here. Now, it's a good thing to do that because I plan on using several of these tubes for various colors of shrimp. I've got several of these tubes. and I'm going to have a splitter, and being able to control them individually is nice. But yes, so just to reiterate, this does come with a kit. But basically what doesn't come with the kit is the airline hose and the air pump. That you'll have to supply yourself. Now, does this thing work? Well, for all intensive purposes, so long as you personally get the eggs right, you adjust the airflow correctly, theoretically, yeah, it should work. If it doesn't work, there's other circumstances that you might want to look into, such as water parameters, etc. But as far as this little device goes, yeah, I would say it does work. Is it worth the money? It's very well made. I really like the quality of it, and the fact that it is designed for shrimp eggs, and I was worried that the shrimp eggs might be too small and just fall right through the grate. I am happy to say that that is not the case. They do not go through, which is perfect. I have heard of some issues of where this metal grate rusts, and if that is the case, I will put something in the description of the video and let you guys know if that happens, because that shouldn't happen. This is, I believe, a stainless steel mesh. I'm hoping maybe it would have been better if it was plastic, but if it was plastic, it wouldn't be as malleable, which it kind of needs to be, because when you poke it into place, you want to have it a little malleable so that it gets in there. But that is the shrimp egg tumbler, and so far it seems to be doing what it needs to do. It's a little tricky to set up. It's a little tricky to get everything right, but I suspect if you do everything properly, this is your best chance of getting eggs from mama shrimp to hatch without the shrimp. So, that being said, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful.